Did you know that 58 years ago, more than 700 men were said to have been massacred in Asaba? This is the true story of the Asaba Massacre. A tragedy that scared families, changed the community, and is still remembered today. In July 1967, the Nigerian Civil War, also called the Biafran War, began after the eastern region tried to break away as Biafra. Asaba, a town on the west bank of the river Niger, became very important because federal soldiers wanted to cross the Niger Bridge into Onitsha, which was under Biafran control. In early October 1967, Nigerian federal troops entered Asaba, believing the people were supporting the Biafrans. The soldiers turned their anger and suspicions into violence. The soldiers began going house to house, dragging out men and sometimes whole families. Many were accused of helping the Biafran army and shot on the spot. Homes were looted, women assaulted, and fear spread quickly across the community. To stop the violence, the elders of Asaba advised the people to dress in white clothing, which symbolized peace in Igbo culture, and to march through the town chanting, "One Nigeria, One Nigeria." In October 7th, 1967, hundreds of men, women, and children gathered and marched in white, singing, "One Nigeria, One Nigeria." But when they reached the town square, the soldiers separated the men and boys from women and children. The women and children were pushed aside while the soldiers opened fire on the men and boys. Between 500 and 1,000 males were killed in a single day. Most were buried in mass graves. Some men tried to hide in the Asaba water tower, but soldiers shot at them. Bullet holes are said to still remain there. Some women also died, either caught in the gunfire or because they tried to protect their loved ones. This moment became known as the Asaba Massacre. The massacre took place 58 years ago. A man who is 80 years old today would have been about 22 years old in 1967. Some men survived by hiding or being away from the town, but many did not live long enough to share their stories. That is why there are few living eyewitnesses today. The killings left Asaba full of widows, grieving mothers, and children without fathers. Women became heads of families, raising children alone and rebuilding households. They carried the memory of the massacre in songs and oral history. They kept Asaba alive when almost all the men were gone. For decades, the massacre was rarely spoken about because people were afraid. But in October 2017, 50 years later, the people of Asaba officially honored the victims. The Asaba Memorial Monument was unveiled with the name of the dead carved into stone. 1,000 symbolic trees were planted. Each tree stands for life, growth, and memory. While the soldiers got lives short, the trees grow as living proof that Asaba's stories continue. The trees are not just remembrance. They are a promise that the names and lives of the fallen will never be forgotten. The Asaba Massacre remains one of the darkest chapters of the Nigerian Civil War. It shows how suspicion turned soldiers against innocent civilians. Yet, it also shows the strength of survival. From a town almost emptied of men, Asaba rebelled. Today, it is a living city, the capital of Delta State. This is not just a story of war. It is a story of families torn apart, of women forced to become leaders, of children who grew without fathers, and of a community that survived tragedy. The Asaba Massacre reminds us of the cost of war and the need for peace always. The monuments and the 1,000 trees are not just symbols. They are living memory, a warning, and a legacy for generations. Thanks for watching, guys.